Good afternoon to you, and this is Good Afternoon Ghana. We're talking Ghana, definitely. Now, a few days ago, Ghana Black Stars came home without bringing the cup for the Africa Cup of Nations that was played in Cameroon. Everybody seems to have been down. Those who were interested in the tournament, and both those who were not interested. Everybody was disappointed. The discussion about the coach, Milovan Rajvac, that he should go or be sacked started, but officially he was not sacked. Now, it was just about yesterday that we received the official notice that he's parted ways with the Ghana Football Association, GFA. The details of that we'll find out from the panelists that we're going to be having the discussion with today. Is it beneficial or is it at the loss of Ghana? What next should we do as a country? Is our problem only hovering around a coach for the Black Stars, or there's more to it? We'll be talking more about these issues when I come back from this break. My name is Annie Efuampofo, and this is Good Afternoon Ghana. All right, so what will be our situation after parting ways with Coach Milovan Rajvac? But before we go into the details, let's get into the House of Legislature and hear our members of Parliament and, the way they spoke in anger, some of the things that they said to the sports minister. Let's take a listen.
Here we are, Ghana Blasters. We hear about sex, segmentation. We hear about infighting. They're only 22 or 23, but they represent the population of over 30 million. Football is our staple. Quite a few colleagues I don't get on with on this side. Notwithstanding that, we can sit in the same coffee room and watch football, laugh, and then when we get out of there, we can resume our hostilities. It is the only thing, Mr. Speaker, that brings us together as a nation. And yet the Blasters consistently, Mr. Speaker, let us down. They should take the country seriously. They should attend to playing football for Ghana seriously. Let's get good technical team. Let them be Ghanaians. Now it was a Ghanaian that's fine. It's not Mirovic or Begiska, all the monies, and don't let us waste good money after bad coaches and technical team of that caliber. It is not good. And let's try and get our locally trained guys to partner with some very good players. Mr. Speaker, there's this last point. It troubles me if it is true. Coco football, I'm told, permeates football at that level. Ubi Binima, as we go football, everybody understands it. You ball, I don't pass you don't like me, so you don't pass the ball to me. If you don't have somebody who matters, Mr. Speaker, you could be Maradona, Pele, whatever. I'm told that you do not stand a chance. I do not know about this. I heard it. This is the rumor. The mongering part is troubling me. But anyway, Mr. Speaker, this is about it. This is about it. Ghana football needs resurrection.
Speaker, I would say to us that if we want to measure the quality of players that we have today, and we went back 20 years, most of the players that we have in the Black Stars today will not even qualify to play in the reserve teams of Accra, Zurich, or Kotoko, or RTU in those days. And for such, you need to bring the players together to train for a longer time than the 1 week or so that maybe we had for the team. We must interrogate the team that we have. Any team worth its salt really is dependent on 3 or 4 players. You need a very competent arrowhead, the goal scorer. Then you have a very good holding midfielders. You have one that you can count on as a person who marshals the defense, steely defense, and then a very good goalkeeper. In all these departments, Mr. Speaker, as we speak today, Ghana scores 0. So where is the team? The minister raised high hopes when he indicated to us that it was possible, it was going to be possible for us to win. But did we, before we set out from here, have a team? I'm not sure that we have a team in the current crop of players that we have. Mr. Speaker, so technically, the players are not up there. Forget about the accolades that our sports journalists are heaping on them. Technically, they are not there. And even for those of them who are outside, what's the quality of the teams that they are playing for? Many of them are warming the benches of second-rank and third-rank teams. And yet, we are heaping all manner of accolades on them, thereby gingering support here in Ghana. And yet we know, if we come to interrogate the competence of the players, each of them, that most of them are not up there. So we may have maybe 1 or 2 world-class players in the team. But is that enough to win tournaments? I watched just 2 of the games that they played. I would say to myself that the one that we lost against Comoros perhaps was our best match, even though we played short of one person, of one player. I would say to us that if we want to measure the quality of players that we have today, and we went back 20 years, most of the players that we have in the Black Stars today will not even qualify to play in the reserve teams of Accra or Kotoko or RTU in those days. And for such, you need to bring the players together to train for a longer time than the 1 week or so that maybe we had for.
Just gone by, so Agyemang Sabonsu is a leader of the majority group in Parliament, and also we heard Katie Hamod, who's also a member of Parliament there. That's a senior member of Parliament also. Commenting on, maybe I would say they took their chances as well to have a say about what happened to Ghana Black Stars when we tried our chances at the just ended Africa Cup of Nations, AFCON, in Cameroon. Well, so we will go into the discussion now, and I have with me Nana Agyemang. Nana Agyemang is already here in the studio. He is an international football expert. I'm expecting Christopher, namely, to join us, and also Saddick Adams to also join us as a sports journalist. And Christopher is also a football coach and an analyst as well. If they join us via Zoom, we will continue the discussion with them. But Nana, being here already, I was with you, when we qualified. And when Ghana first had its match,
yes,
and we were expecting, of course, we were in expectation, and we were disappointed.
You were expectations. I didn't have an.
Oh, you didn't?
Oh, what expectations? I told you we didn't have a team.
Well,
rewind the tape.
But you came in your colors.
Yeah, but why not?
So you were in expectation.
I can wear my colors every day of the week.
Because the herb colors. Those who don't know, Nana is also an advocate for herbs. So, yeah. I mean, so maybe if you see him in those colors, it's probably not just for Ghana. So I got it wrong.
No, but it's still for Ghana. It's still for Ghana. It's for everything. I mean, those are our colors. But, I mean, I made it clear to you that we weren't going to win the cup, and that's why we went there.
Yeah,
yes,
definitely.
To win the cup. And I was very clear to you that that's not going to happen. Not this year, not next year. And, look at what transpired. A little tiny island with just over 800,000 people. They came to score us 3-2, and we had no answer to them, really, did we?
Did the members of parliament who just spoke, did they re-echo your thoughts, opinions? I don't know.
No, I think, if you listen to Oseche Bonsu, basically, he believed what the Minister of Youth and Sport said. And so did the rest of Parliament, because they were assured by the Minister that we were going to win the African Cup of Nations. And that thought was re-echoed by the president of the GFA, Kurt Okreku, who also said, we're going to win the African Cup of Nations. Now, I'd like to see what it is they saw that made them actually think that, because there was no basis at all for that type of thought and for even someone to express it. It was just basically wishful thinking. There was no basis at all. So Parliament were deceived by the minister. Football-loving supporters were equally deceived by the president of the GFA. And everybody went along with it, If these two prominent people would say that, would openly declare that the Ghana Black Stars was going to Cameroon and they were going to win the African Cup of Nations, then it must be true. And it turned out it wasn't. The Minister of Sports, by next week he should be sacked, to be honest with you, and replaced. Because in my books, he's the Minister of Acclimatization, because he agreed to the Ghana Black Stars going to Qatar for their training camp to prepare for Cameroon on the basis that Qatar was the venue for the World Cup. So he had gone a few miles ahead of himself and said that if they got there now, they would acclimatize for the World Cup. But they hadn't even qualified for it yet. And so that expenditure in Qatar could have been put to one side. It could have been circumvented. Perhaps we didn't really need to go there. We have a similar climate to Cameroon. And if the Minister of Sport was considering climates, then we could have easily have gone to Tamale and done the training there. Nothing wrong with it at all. But, if you listen to his report, the Minister of Acclimatization, it was absolute drabble. It was incomprehensible. I don't know what he was talking about. But there you go. That's a minister for you, a Minister of Youth and Sports. And he should be sacked. And we should look at the role of the Ministry of Youth and Sports when it comes to our national teams anyway, because I came here before and I told you that I didn't believe that government should have such a big say in national team football. It's true that the national teams represent Ghana, but it's also true that it's the Ghana Football Association that is the registered entity that has the responsibility of organizing football in this country and organizing football to the point where they will raise teams that represent Ghana continentally and internationally. And I think that government interference is too much because, look, we heard that Milvan had been sacked over the weekend. It took about 4 or 5 days before the GFA could come out and confirm that. They were still trying to persuade them. And the ministry was saying, well, look, we hold the purse strings, so if you don't sack him, perhaps we may not pay him. And they know that the GFA also don't have any money.
Yeah, because Katie Hammond in Parliament directly said, you sack him or we sack you.
Yes, yeah. And he should go through with the second threat. Sack the minister.
Or?
Sack that Minister of Sports. There's no or. He doesn't have a clue.
So if we, like Katie Hammond gave us that threat, can we also give same threat to government?
To sack what? Government should sack themselves?
The
should sack the minister? Yeah, of course we can. We can tell government to sack the minister. Why not? We can all say it in a loud voice. That minister does not have a clue. Put him somewhere else. We have wasted a lot of money in Qatar on the basis of a minister's assumption that it would be best for us to acclimatize in Qatar when we hadn't even qualified for the competition that was going to be played in Qatar, which is the FIFA World Cup. That's financial loss to the state, if I'm not mistaken. So he has shown already that he's incompetent and he shouldn't hold that position. Well, we can tell government that. We can make a loud noise about that. We made a loud noise about Rayovac, and he picked it up and said, well, you've got to sack him. So we can say the same thing about the sports minister. But I think behind all of that, we must also have a situation where we review the sports ministry's role when it comes to the national teams, all the national teams. And as well as that, we need to also have a look at the Ghana Football Association as well, because, you know, when you tell them, oh, reconstitute your committee, there is only so many of them. I think it's 13 or 15. So what are they going to do? Just shuffle people into different positions.
Yeah.
Similarly to how government works. You find an incompetent minister like the Minister of Sports, and you shuffle him, and you place his incompetence in another ministry, and he goes on to cause havoc there. That's not what we're talking about. We're talking about sacking people and replacing people. That's what really should be happening. But in the GFA, it can't happen now. And as I said to you before, no matter what I say, no matter what you say, no matter what the ministers say, no matter what the general public say, the only people who really have a say in the Ghana Football Association are those 130 members. That's it. Nothing can happen unless those members come together and say, okay, enough is enough. We'll have a special AGM, blah, 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 and this is what we want on the agenda. If they don't do anything like that, there's nothing you can do about the GFA, but the minister is a different kettle of fish.
Let me engage Saddick Adams. He's joined us via Zoom. He's a journalist with Angel FM. Saddick, thank you for joining us. You're welcome to Good Afternoon, Ghana. Let me confirm. Are you in Ghana yet?
Yes.
You are?
Yes, I'm in Ghana now.
So
I've been in Ghana for the past 2 years.
Let me push a bit further. You left the game because Ghana left the game?
Yeah, actually, I was mostly focused on reporting about the Black Stars, and that's the reason why I was sent there by my station. So basically, being in Cameroon and reporting on other teams, the issues were in Ghana. The coaches have been here, the team has just arrived in Ghana. So if we are about dissecting matters of the Black Stars, it's better for me to be in Ghana than to be in Cameroon. Regardless of what's going on, I think that we can still be here, monitor affairs from Cameroon. I have a reporter there who will still be following affairs, but I was there basically to cover Team Ghana.
I mean, a bit further, I was thinking about it, that what would journalists, especially journalists in Ghana, do now that Ghana exited the game? I was wondering if they will still continue being there and give us an update of what's going on in Cameroon. So it means that even by our performance, your work as a journalist is affected to a certain extent, right?
It affects everyone associated with the team, affects everyone. And that's why journalists become very vocal. The national team does not belong to a few group of people or individuals as they purport to be. We are all affected. Once your country gets kicked out, there is definitely not so much to do at the AFCON, unless, of course, you have a specific task of writing articles about other countries or reporting about them. Because you move in tow with your national team where they want to play. The interest and attraction is with your national team. Nobody expects me to report about Gambia when there are Gambian journalists there. And how many people will believe you reporting about Senegal or Tunisia when your national team is not there? You, as a journalist from Ghana, what's your capacity in reporting affairs from the camp of Tunisia or Cameroon when journalists from Cameroon are there? So the interest automatically, substantially goes down once your national team is not there. It cuts your, not only about the job, I mean, financial-wise, economically, the leverage that you get as a journalist following your national team, because people are aligned to following things I report about the Black Stars much more than I do about this Gambian national team, because I'm a Ghanaian journalist. They trust my sources in the team Ghana, not about Nigeria or Senegal. So it affects everyone. The supporters are home, the management committee members are home, and I can assure that 99% of the journalists are back home, because obviously staying there and not even getting SADs. If you, those of you who have traveled for international competitions, the SADs are match tickets. The fact that you have an accreditation does not mean you can cover every game. Match tickets. And so if Gambia are playing Cameroon, you require to register for an SAD, and the preference is given to journalists from those particular countries who teams are playing. You register for press conferences, you register for mixed zones. So if your country is not in, they give preference to journalists, and sometimes the SADs are not enough. So you may be a journalist in Cameroon, but you may not get access to watch Cameroon Gambia because you are not a journalist from those two countries, and they cannot give Ghanaian journalists a preference to cover matches of Cameroon ahead of the number of Cameroonian journalists. So it affects, it's across the board. Everybody have got their own, issues when the Black Stars exit the tournament.
I guess the rippling effects is very deep and long in the chain. But let's come to the issue also at stake, which has affected your work as a journalist. So Nana is suggesting that even listening to the aftermath of what has happened to the sports minister, he has to be sacked. I know you're a journalist, but what would you think or what would you say of that?
I don't know about the reasons why Nana think that he should be sacked, but I'm a bit surprised about how Parliament have carried themselves post the Black Stars exit, and seeing people in Parliament calling out the Black Stars players to show high sense of patriotism. I was a bit, how ironic, people in Parliament calling the Black Stars players to show high sense of patriotism. And are they supposed to, learn from the parliamentarians? Who do they learn from? These acts of patriotism. People in Parliament who have been in Parliament for, I'm not trying to compare football and politics, but we've got to have the moral right to criticize, things that we have to. People have been in Parliament 6-7 times. They are close to 70 years, and telling people who are coaches of the national team that they are old and they should be sacked. And they did not perform. The performance is below par. These are parliamentarians that we all know, based on assessment of their works, how many of them will be in Parliament. So I'm a bit, surprised how they are trying to blow issues out of proportion. What's their stake? What's their interest? We all are Ghanaians, but what is Parliament's interest in somebody who coaches the national team if there are proper structures?
That's a very technical question you're asking. But why would you question the interest of Parliament, Saddick?
The interest of Parliament on who coaches the Black Stars. The suggestions in Parliament about who they think should coach the Black Stars. I'm not sure that football people can decide for Parliament who becomes the Speaker of Parliament. They are competent people to do that. If they feel that there are right structures, I'm not talking about the interest. We all are Ghanaians, we all have our interest in the team. But parliamentarians are not expected to get deeply involved in the affairs of football, especially to the extent of calling on the GFA to sack a coach. They could have made a recommendation. They could have put in place 1 or 2 issues about reviewing his work, whether or not they think that he's doing well. But to call out the FA to sack him or be sacked, I think they've overstepped their boundaries. And these are the same emotional journey we go anytime the team exits a tournament. Look at the level that we've raised the national team's exit to, including discussing in Parliament why the coach should be sacked without any basis. I don't think that Medoba Ryback deserves to be the Black Stars coach. But if the pressure comes from Parliament to sack the coach, that's hugely an interference.
Parliament might not have
interference in the
Parliament might not have a direct interaction with either the GFA or the football team. But Parliament, to an extent, in the chain, plays a role. Whatever government spends, Parliament does have a hand in government's expenditure. So with the role of Parliament, you cannot belabor the point that they indeed do have an interest.
They have an interest. But the point I'm making is that based on what technical reports, have they decided to set up a committee that includes technical people to evaluate the work of the coach, to discuss his performance in Parliament? We need to be very critical and then cautious about some of the things we do when it comes to football.
So you say that they could have done it, but in a different manner by, demanding for a technical report, analyzing the reports before they come to a conclusion, than just an MP standing up and blasting like he did.
Just like any other ordinary citizen would do. And I expect, something more of a refined sort of review from Parliament than just joining the public chorus. The public chorus about sack the coach. He's old. He comes from Serbia. He's taking our money. Parliament is supposed to elevate themselves above that. And I was quite surprised, like I said. The team camped in Qatar, and that has become a topic of discussion from the whole of yesterday up to today, because the Minister of Sports has gone to Parliament to talk about acclimatization. These are some of the critical issues we need to discuss. In the last 10 African Cup of Nations that Ghana has played in, including the AFCON that we hosted in 2008, the team camped in Abu Dhabi. We've been camping in Abu Dhabi, Dubai, Abu Dhabi, Dubai, Abu Dhabi. So this is not the first time. The FA have had a history of convincing every minister, even when we hosted the tournament in Accra, Kumasi, Tamale, Takoradi, the team camped in Dubai. And these are matters of public.
I'm sorry, Saddick, go ahead.
This is not the first time. Why is it becoming a matter of public interest now? We need to address why is the team deciding to camp in luxurious destinations when other national teams like Senegal are camping in Ghana, Morocco camped in their own country. Ghana spent over $1 million camping for 10 days in Abu Dhabi for the AFCON in 2013. Over $1 million camping for 10 days. These are matters that Parliament should critically address. Who demands for the money? How is it approved? And why do we even have to approve over $1 million to camp for 10 days when such kind of money can just construct a training facility in Ghana for the team to camp here at Pram Pram? As a football country, we have to tell the parliamentarians that Ghana doesn't even have a training center that befits the status of hosting an under-17 team. Even our under-17 teams camp in hotels before they play in Ghana. We do not have a standard facility. These are the things that parliamentarians should be talking about. Parliamentarians should be concerned about why our under-15, under-17, under-20, under-23, the teams that are supposed to produce players for the Black Stars, have had coaches for 2 years, 24 months, who have not been paid a peso and are still working. And we expect proper and quality selection of players into those teams. We are making the coaches at the grassroots level vulnerable and expecting results at the Black Stars level. So I'm saying that Ghana has become a state that loves to buy expensive roofs for a building that has no foundation. That's what we are doing. Everybody has joined the chorus. Parliament is interested in the Black Stars, but they are completely oblivious, or let me say ignorant, of the fact that Ghana football's investment has always been wrong. You camp in Dubai to come and play in a temperature and conditions that are completely opposite to what you camped in, just because of luxury. And this is not the first time. Abraham Grant camped in Dubai. Kwesi Appiah camped in Dubai. Milovan Rajabak is camping in Dubai. The only place that's been an exception was when we camped at a resort in Spain's city of Seville. So Ghana has always been camping in places of luxurious destinations. Nobody understands why they do that. And
Yeah,
why
but
Parliament
Saddick,
will
you agree that these are some of the reasons why Parliament may be so much interested in asking questions, because government obviously is investing in the team, and really they would have no choice but to.
They are not asking questions about that. They are only asking questions about the coach.
They're
And
asking,
that I
you know,
think
by
is-
extension, I mean, not to defend them, but by extension, they are asking you that we're giving you all the money to be in the best of luxury or luxurious life or, you know, training, attempts, whatever it is, to bring the cup home, and you fail. So if we gave you all these and yet you couldn't give us the cup, what else do you expect them to do? They will ask you to sack the coach or something.
And I'm saying that this is the 11th time in the last 12 AFCONs that we've camped in Dubai. For how long are they going to be asking this question? If there is not going to be a change or reverse, for how long?
Okay, hold on there. Let me engage on a bit too on that. I think Saddick has made valid points. He doesn't agree that members of parliament should be questioning. Do you also think so?
Well, let me say
The way you're looking at me.
No, don't worry. Saddick, don't worry. Saddick started off by saying he didn't understand why? The minister should be sacked.
Yeah.
But he rolled out
Yes.
so many different reasons why the minister should be sacked, right? He rolled those reasons out. They just flew out. But look, I've told you already that government has no business in football. I've told you this already. The GFA is a business, a registered company limited by guarantee, but it is running itself as a non-governmental organization. I'm not saying there won't come a time when you ask the government for money. Yes, you need to. But you need to commercialize football in this country so that you are generating finance, so that you can stand on your own 2 feet. And if you want to blow it in Dubai, you can go and blow it in Dubai.
Well, no one questioning you.
No one can say anything to you. If you want to appoint a nobblehead coach, a hungry coach, and share his salary, you can do that if you want to do that. No one's going to say anything. The fact of the matter is this, right? Is that far from being an autonomous GFA, it's very far from the fact. You have a situation where I've said to you before, when we talk about, Saddick said, what is their interest? Their interest is twofold. One, and I told you this before, they somehow believe that if Ghana wins, and this is for both sets of parties, they both hold this opinion dear, that if we were to win the African Cup of Nations, it will do something for our prospects in the next general election. That is what they hold dear, right? Because there would be a feel-good factor that would be going around if we won the African Cup of Nations. Why else would Honourable K.T. Hammond point to the minister and say, if you don't sack Milovan, we'll sack you? Why else would he do that? The second reason is, of course, they get to gallivant around the world. They get to go to Dubai and shopping in Qatar and swimming pools and everything else that goes with that. That's their interest. And we've seen in 2014, I mean, look, I'm sorry to say, but basically we lost a lot of money through the doors of the Ghana Black Stars. Contracts were being issued without the right requirements and procedures and what have you, and people were buying expensive coconuts and what have you, and rumored that young ladies left from the University of Ghana to join certain big men in Brazil. It's a way of siphoning money.
Well,
that's what it is.
I didn't hear that rumor.
No, well, that's what happens.
That's rumor.
We lose a lot of money, and that's why I say the minister needs to be sacked.
But what has girls to some big men in Dubai got to do with your money?
Well, it's all about football, isn't it? Why are they going there?
Are they spending your money?
Why are they? It's taxpayers' money. Of course it is.
To fly the girls?
It's taxpayers' money.
How did you do
Look,
that? How did you
we
justify
even fly drummer boys and clowns and all these people out there to go and do drama and do this and all
For
that.
supporting base?
No, it's a waste of money. Saddick has told you 11 times out of 12 we've camped in Dubai. Did we bring the cup home? No. So what was the point of camping in Dubai? There was no point. The problem is this: perennially, institutionally, we have failed, and it's become a part of our culture every time that there's an AFCON and every time that there's a World Cup. We have failed institutionally. It's a part of the culture of the Ghana Football Association. It's a part of the culture of government, because even though we fail this time, now we're still talking about we must go to the World Cup. Why do we must go to the World Cup? If we don't go to the World Cup, what happens? What, Ghana will close down? Ghana will be no more? Why is it we can't say to ourselves, look, let's give this World Cup a miss. What we need to do is, and Osei Mensah talked about building the capacity of coaches. One of them did. We need to build the capacity properly of our local coaches so that those in the GFA will respect them, and the players that they will call will also respect them. We need to pay them in accordance with the same way that we pay the expatriates. And in order to do that, our local coaches must have the same qualification. It mustn't be a case of, oh, this is the equivalent of that, when the curriculum is far below what we're being taught. Send them away. This is what Kwame Nkrumah did. He sent C.K. Jamfi away to Brazil, and then he brought him back.
Yeah.
That's how we won those first three titles.
I mean, Katie Hammond actually suggested...
He sent him away.
Among all his, chanting, I think there was something good he said in there. You're also watching Good Afternoon Ghana. Let's take a quick break. When we come back, the question is, if we say we should build the capacity of our sports or our football, when is it appropriate to start? We'll come back soon. Football is a technical game, and sometimes, no matter how well you train, you go onto the pitch and it's different. So, according to Saddick Adams, who's a football journalist, he's suggesting that even if Parliament wanted to talk about this, that's not how to go about it. Take your time, sit down, expect a technical analysis, let them bring a report, analyze the report, and let's come to a fair conclusion. But I think Saddick is still with us on Zoom. Saddick, are you still with us? Hello?
Yes.
Yes, great.
Good.
Do you also go with the idea that we should at least consume this idea of trying to go to the World Cup this year and start reorganizing ourselves as a country as far as football is concerned?
I wholly agree with anyone who puts forth an argument that Ghana should start rebuilding. But I don't support the call to abandon the idea of playing in the World Cup, playoffs, or going for the World Cup.
Why?
Rebuilding a national team and playing in competitions go toe-to-toe, and it's not mutually exclusive that you have to abandon a project just to rebuild. If we get kicked out, that's good. If we qualify and go there with young crop of players to go and have an experience or feel without necessarily putting pressure on the coach in charge of the job. That's also the point. They go there to have an exposure in rebuilding. If you abandon and say you are rebuilding the team, how sure, what are the guarantees that you are going to the tournament the next time to do well? So I agree perfectly about rebuilding the team, putting the team under the care of a coach who will draw a long-term plan, players with an average age of 20 to 22. We play against Nigeria. If we are able to qualify, that's fantastic. If we are unable to qualify, the players have gotten an invaluable experience of playing against one of the giants on the continent.
I mean,
then you kickstart your rebuilding process.
Well, I mean, to borrow the words of Kurt Okreku, It's not the time for Matra Makwe. When we have to go to AFCON and embarrass ourselves, why do we have to now take another chance to probably, just in case we don't perform well, if we don't perform, go and embarrass ourselves as well on the World Cup stage? And you're laughing at my my borrowing of the phrase Matra Makwe. Saddick.
Right. Well, even for the periods that we've touted ourselves as the best at not doing Matra Makwe, we've completely embarrassed ourselves. What's there more to be shy about? In Cape Town, I mean,
So we should continue embarrassing ourselves?
Feel embarrassed about? No, I'm saying that even in times that you say you've appointed a competent coach and not a Matra Makwe coach, we've completely embarrassed ourselves. So the point is, now we have a young crop of players. We say we are rebuilding. We've qualified for a competition. Mm-hmm. They must just go there and have a feel of the tournament. Mm-hmm. And that's how you expose them to the kind of experiences that will build them into the future. The Matra Makwe period was actually the period that we were going to embarrass ourselves, because the signs were clear on the walls that the team was overage, there were factions in the team, there was no unity in camp, the coach who was in charge was completely clueless.
I mean, Saddick, the signs and the symptoms are clearer now.
That's why I'm saying that we need to rebuild. One of the most important things about rebuilding is putting your foundation in place. And putting the foundation does not necessarily require you to collapse the entire system and say, we are pulling out of tournament. And I can give you an examples of so many teams who have come to tournaments, gone back to rebuild. It happened to France. They collapsed the team in 2010 after the scandal in South Africa. They put in place young players, put in charge a coach who was rebuilding the team. They came back to win the World Cup in 2018. You need to have a plan, but the plan does not require you to abandon playing in competitions. How then do you get the experience? It means that you are going to restart after 8 years. Ghana collapsed post 2002. It took the likes of Ben Kofi and others to put together a crop of players in Sule Muntari, John Pencil and others to start playing in the under 20, the under 17, and then they came together as a unit in 2006 to qualify for the World Cup and played, incredibly well at the World Cup in South Africa. So you don't have to say you are abandoning competitions. You cannot abandon them and say you are rebuilding. Let's put together a very solid team, devoid of personal interests, devoid of the external influences from people who want to enrich themselves. When we start from there, we can put a team together to play Nigeria. Right. 30% or 20% from the team that played in the AFCON. That's what I mean. I don't support the idea of withdrawing from tournaments just to rebuild. It doesn't happen.
Right. I wish I had more time because I really want to drag you a bit on this. I don't know.
On it as well.
Yeah, exactly. How did Nigeria do it when they closed or the shuttle for 2 years?
Look, you see, everyone would want us to go. I mean, even in the bottom of my heart, I'd like us to go. Why? Because I'd get to go and experience Qatar. But is this about me experiencing Qatar? Or is it about sending a formidable team out to Qatar that is really going to be able to represent us as Ghanaians and go and progress through the tournament? Which one is it about? Mm-hmm. Is it about me, self, I, or is it about the nation? Mm-hmm. And that's where we have to differentiate. Because at the end of the day, I say to you that some of us may not see the Ghana Black Stars lift the trophy and bring it off a flight, right? And that would be the best way, because we must be selfless in all of this. If Saddick agrees that we should rebuild, then you can't rebuild something that is moving. It must be stable. It must be standing still in one place.
You can't rebuild something that is moving.
Moving, yes.
Saddick, I hope you got that.
I just want to ask Nana,
Okay.
When I say we need to play in competitions, how is he going to assess the team that it's now formidable to play in competitions if they don't play in competitions to build?
Yeah, but
And
the share
for how long are we going to stay out of
but I don't
All right,
know.
no
Okay,
problem.
Nana, you go ahead.
No,
Go
no
ahead.
No,
I don't have a problem.
I feel
don't
like
have a
I'm
problem
joining the
with that.
discussion, so go ahead.
I don't have a problem with that, Saddick, because first of all, you said there were many examples, and then you went on to speak about France. Now, I will never call France and Ghana at the same time when I'm talking about football, because I know that's not the right way. Let's talk about Comoros. What did they do? What did they do that we didn't do? They have come to their first tournament and they're shattering everything and what have you. We need to rebuild, and we need to stop, and we need to start the rebuilding process. It's not just about rebuilding the team. It's also about the management committee. In fact, it goes before the management committee. It's about the Ghana Football Association itself. We have here a group of administrators who sat around a table to make a technical appointment. What guidance were they given technically? Then we're talking about a parliament who definitely are not technically savvy, directing a sports minister to make a decision which is a technical decision, which at the end of the day, if all truth be told, technically it was not a good decision to sack the coach. No, because we've got these 2 games to be played. So we might as well have kept the coach to play those 2 games. So we've got people who are parliamentarians advising administrators about what is technically beneficial for Ghana, and none of them have the technical qualifications to do so, right? This is a big part of the problem. The GFA, we have to start from the GFA.
But the sports minister had the technical know-how, at
From
least
where?
to advise Parliament that this is where we are, and we're better off keeping the coach than sacking the coach.
No, it wasn't about that, because he said prior to that the coach must go.
Oh.
And he has to knee-jerk and react because the general public was saying it should go, right? And so as the sports minister who wants to stay in politics and who wants to have a prestigious position, he must go with what the general public is saying. Whether he understands it or not, sack the coach, right? And I'm saying to you, this rebuilding process is not just about the team. It is about the Ghana Football Association. It is about the Ghana Football Association's relationship with government. It's about the Ghana Football Association standing on its own as an autonomous body that really doesn't have any money. It's about the association. Saddick talked about Pram Pram. What a waste of FIFA's money. He's right. None of our national teams can really be hosted there. It's a decrepit place with scorpions and whatnot. We will never bring the Black Stars there. When we're going for a major tournament, everybody camps in a hotel. Why? When you've built such a facility. We have to start the whole thing over again. If we miss AFCON next year, if we miss the World Cup this year, and if we miss it for a couple of successive years, the world does not come to an end. We should take our time and build and develop.
Right.
We've got no confidence in our local coaches. We don't equip them well. We don't support them. Now that we're talking about bringing in local coaches, people are talking about combining 2 heads to make 1. So for me, that means that an expatriate is worth 2 Ghana coaches that are in the bush. Why? Because we don't support our coaches. We really don't build their capacity. And now we're looking to call upon a local coach to save our bacon, so to speak, by taking us through the next 2 matches. And I say no.
Right. Let me have Saddick have the last word. Saddick, are you still with me?
Yeah.
Yes. So you have the last word.
Yeah, so Dara talked about the relationship between the GFA, the government, and all that. Fantastic. Like I said, I support this idea of rebuilding. But then Nana should also understand that there is also a relationship between the FA and FIFA. And if he supports Ghana cutting a ban from FIFA for withdrawing from tournaments, I will go with him. on that tangent. And he's supposed to tell us the frame. I think I will agree when he says we should stay out for 5 years. When we stay out for 5 years intentionally, FIFA gives us an additional 5-year plan to stay at home for 10 years. And then that is going to lead to an eventual collapse. So when he talks about the relationship between Ghana, FA, and government and rebuilding the coaches, there is also FIFA, custodians of the game, who are not going to take it lightly because you have decided to rebuild. You stay out of football. If all countries decide that they want to rebuild and stay out, what will become of the competition? So I still want us to play in competitions, but then gradually build its foundations and give them the exposure that by the time that they are ripe enough to compete, we know that they are getting, they have the experience in playing in them already, and we are going to win it this year. It should be a gradual process. If we collapse everything and say we are not attending competition, I'm sure that we will cause a ban, and that will lead to eventual collapse, because whatever you build may not even get the opportunity of playing in the next tournament.
Well, I don't know if it's good for it to collapse. That's if it hasn't collapsed already.
That's what I'm just about to say. It's already collapsed.
I mean, if it hasn't
Saddick.
collapsed already, Saddick.
And I think that, let me just come in there, and I think that very quickly that, look, it's not just about rebuilding the national team. It's about rebuilding the junior teams as well.
It's a holistic.
These are the teams that are supposed to feed the national team in the first place. We have a local Ghana Black Stars. Where is it? What is it doing? He raised a very important point that, look, all the other national teams, the coaches have been working 2 years, they're not being paid, right? So, you know, I don't want you to take it too simplistically, oh, we should drop out of competitions, etc., etc. I'm not advocating anything that would get us banned by FIFA, but I'm saying look at its entirety, look at everything there, and then make a decision. It's not about me just saying, oh, we're out of the competition, oh, let Nigeria go. No.
What
but
coach
there's
are we
work to be
eyeing?
done.
Which local coach are we eyeing?
Well, we can only go to Ibrahim Tanko. He's the only qualified coach in Ghana that can take the Black Stars right now.
Saddick, do you agree? Which coach are we eyeing?
Of course, in terms of CV, he is the best in the country now with what he's acquired in terms of his education and exposure. I've just read that there is Chris Hilton, Nana knows him. Chris Hilton from former Newcastle manager is in Ghana. Yes, right. Of course, he's in Ghana for an interview session with the FA.
Right. Really enjoying Saddick's and Nana's input. Simon from Pungburugu sent that in. Says that I think we should take our minds off winning trophies for now, but and build a team right from coaching, technical team, etc. To the players, the coaches, when selected, should be allowed to run the team their way. We have to believe in our local coaches and players as well. And we really have talent here, you say. Thank you for your messages. This one also says that Numo coach Nimle, he didn't show up, so another time we'll have him. The same Nana Agyemang who took a certain team to relegation. This way he can't earn, he says. Sekun Nkrumah says, I will send my regards to you. Says that don't you just love Katie Hammond. Some more messages from Twitter and Facebook as well. But thank you for watching. This all time will allow us. And if you are standing by to bring you 120 seconds. This has been Good Afternoon Ghana. My name is Ania Fompo. For Saddick, thank you.